All right. Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
And I'm Mario Adrion.
Mario, good to see you.
Good to
Mario's
see you
new.
too.
Thank you. Mario's new to the Keith and Girl universe, but I think people are gonna like you a lot. Definitely, of course, an accent I hear. I'm here.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Oh, perfect. You passed completely. You're from Germany.
Yes,
You're doing an American tour now. Do you? And you just got your green card. I saw on Instagram.
I
Correct?
did literally a week ago. Yeah, very
Congrats. Now, what
excited.
does that mean? Does green card mean you're a citizen or no?
No, green card just means I can skip the airport line when I fly in. There's
Okay.
one line which is for green card holders and citizens, and one that's for visa holders and tourists, which sometimes can take 2 hours and it's very stressful. So that's all I can do. I can live here for the next 10 years and work in any job I want. But I'm
Okay.
not a citizen. Not a citizen. No.
Your wife is German. Is that right? Or she's in
She
Germany?
she's no, she's American.
She's American. So is
Yeah,
this
yeah.
does this
That's
help
how I
you
got the
out?
green card. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Exactly, yeah.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
automatically make you a citizen. You have to apply for that?
Yeah, and even when you're married, so we've been married, I've been with her for like 5 years now. We got married 6 months ago. And even with
Hmm.
marriage, some people think you get married, you immediately become a citizen. No, there's so many bureaucratical steps you have to go through, so much
Right.
stuff you have to prove. I had to send the immigration officer tons of photos of like me with my dad and her and us on a honeymoon and us on like all these things. Like it's a pretty tedious process. And some people get rejected.
Y-
You have to go for an interview and prove that they ask you intimate questions about like your sex life and what toothbrush you use
Right.
to make sure that your marriage is legit. So
Do
yeah.
I know that you have to prove why America would want you. And is it nerve-wracking going, no, you need me. I'm a comedian. What else do you do? Oh, I'm a model. You need me
Yeah.
to be part of America.
That's so funny you say that because before I got my green card, I had 301 visas. And I got my first one for modeling. The second one I got for YouTube and social media. But the first one was for modeling, and it's so funny because it says on my visa that I'm an alien with extraordinary abilities,
Oh, okay.
which to me is the funniest expression because for modeling, what abilities are you talking about?
I've seen your
I
eight
was
pack. That's almost a Marvel superhero.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But it's so stupid because like they literally asked me at the visa, do you have to fill out this form? Be like, hey, what's your unique contribution to the American workforce?
And you point to your
And I
face.
exactly, I was like, listen, I didn't go to college, but I'm very good at jawline.
Right.
Okay. I can pack bounds. That's my contribution. But no, with marriage it's different because marriage it's based on you being the word alien always throws me off because it literally
Yeah,
says it's a petition for an alien relative. I feel like ET.
sure.
But so this one didn't have anything to do with my skill set. That's my last three visas. This one was more about being married to an American citizen and therefore having a life here, having my home base here. I mean, I've been paying taxes here for like 5 years now. So that's what that one's
Right.
about. Yeah.
Do you see all the troubles in America and you're like, I have to prove myself to you? How about you beg me for my
Oh
taxes?
God.
You guys are a mess.
It's hilarious. Also, the day my green card got approved was when Trump was shot.
Yeah.
So I literally got the email about the green card, and then 30 minutes later, I got the news about Trump being shot. I was like, this country is weird right now. But I don't know, man. I mean, with taxes, I have some opinions about that because people always say, "Oh, Germany, you pay so much in taxes." California is pretty wild too. I mean,
Right.
there's some. I mean, sometimes like 40% I pay here in total, and I just sometimes wonder where that goes because in
Hmm.
Germany I paid tax for a few years, but I can say that in Germany, in return, I feel like I received a lot in return. Like I got free education, I got
Mm.
free healthcare, like free tuition, which is a bit. I went to college in Berlin and paid nothing. So I feel like I received something. Then sometimes I walk out here. The other day I was on a bird scooter in LA, and
Okay.
I like there was a massive pothole, and I was like, "What am I paying?" You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Right.
the taxes I'm
Sure.
paying go
But
straight to the
have you,
military budget in America instead of like anything I'm actually benefiting from. But yeah,
but you've seen the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I have.
Things
That's where I
cost,
used to live.
things cost things. See? So that's where it's going. Betty White.
Very grateful.
Yeah.
Very grateful for that. Yes. Yes.
I see on Instagram, you find any excuse to be in a Speedo. Do me a favor and tell me that looking the way you do really isn't worth it. Tell me that it's not Like I get to have a cheeseburger and you don't. Try to make me feel a little better.
About what? I mean, it's a lot of because it's a lot of work to stay in
Yeah,
shape, you mean,
it is,
or
right? Yeah. Tell me
it
like you're
is.
frustrated all the time. Tell me. I mean, I asked just for a mic check. I said, "What did you eat today?" And literally, you didn't eat. You had tea, and we're in the afternoon, late afternoon.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, it's like I think it is when I was actively modeling, there was so much pressure to look good, which is definitely not healthy because you would judge yourself. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, the way we judge ourselves and we think we're not pretty enough, that never goes away. Because when I was like,
Okay, good.
people look at me and they think, oh, you have a six pack and all this stuff. But like I go and I went to New York and I saw other models and you see how beautiful they are. They have like I have six pack
Well,
abs. I saw a dude, Brazilian dude, who had 14 abs. You know what I'm saying?
they're on his
That's like
back,
twice the amount of abs,
right?
like more than twice. They're on his back, yeah. So like, you always compare yourself to like, these even more beautiful people. So a level of insecurity and lack of self-worth never really goes away, no matter
Do
what you look like,
Do you
So
find like where you look in the mirror and find like an inch of fat that none of us could see? Does that
probably,
happen?
yeah, yeah, especially when you're modeling. Now I'm not modeling anymore, but when I used to model, everything I did was based on my looks. I got a visa for my
Right.
jawline. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a visa for my abs. So obviously my whole identity is kind of wrapped around that. And also financially, I was so broke in New York and I knew that if I wasn't in top shape, I might lose out, I might miss out on some modeling opportunities because I did a lot of underwear modeling. So the mental stress that comes with it is pretty tough. And I'm only like, I mean, I'm speaking as a man. I cannot even imagine what women go through at large. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
like a woman, whether you're a model or not, you're much more valued for your looks. So yeah, that's something that was definitely a journey and now an adjustment with comedy where nobody cares about your looks really. So
Is
yeah,
is that harder though? Like who's this fucking guy? How's he gonna be funny?
yeah.
How's he have a
I mean,
thought?
I does he have a thought? Does he think? Can he think?
Right.
Exactly. Well, I think it's just like a little bit of a stereotype I have to fight when I go on stage with people who don't know me, because I have perspectives I think that are unique and that have nothing to do with my looks, but people automatically assume I'm a douchebag, because I have a
Right.
certain look, which I
Did
kind
you
of
have
have to. I
to
think I'm
did you have
actually.
to look that word up?
I did, because I didn't know what I meant at first, because we don't have it in Germany.
Right.
I have a full joke about it actually. Like douchebag is something we don't. Yeah, when I first looked it up, people called me that online. I was like, "What's a douchebag?" And it's a cleaning device. Huh?
Right.
So at first I was like, "Well, fuck yeah, I'm a douchebag. Yeah, people think
Okay.
I'm clean. They think I'm fresh. Yeah,
I take
not a
care of
bad thing."
vagina. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly, right? Yeah. I'm up in the vagina all day, bro. Yeah, but it definitely is a bit of a stereotype I have to fight. So I think I fight it by letting people know, like I let
Right.
people know, hey, listen, I know that you think that I'm a douchebag, but I'm not. Also, I think my style of comedy is quite vulnerable, which I love breaking expectations of people because they think I'm a fuck boy and a douchebag, but I talk a lot about my insecurities and stuff you wouldn't expect. So I like breaking that stereotype of
Right.
what, I'm standing up for my community of underrepresented hot white men and show that we can be more than just ridiculously good looking. That is
Good for
my
you. Uh,
message. Yeah, thank you.
I worked with a woman that helped run a female modeling place, and this was
Mm.
top end. And she was saying how these models are fainting constantly. Is that from lack of food? And they prop them up with like salt water for a second. Does it get that rough in male modeling?
Man modeling is a little more chill for sure. I mean,
Okay,
women is again, what I'm saying is like whatever I experienced, multiply that by 10. And then you have what women go through modeling. Because for women, I mean, as a man, there's different types too. And the one thing I had to, like, I was always more athletic. Like, I loved working out and I always had a bit of a bigger, like, chest. I mean, not even compared to like regularly people would say, oh, you just look super skinny. For
right,
modeling, it's a misconception people have. Like as a male model, you don't have to be muscular. You have to be slim, so you fit into these like designer jackets. Especially if you do like high fashion modeling, like all the runways. They don't want you to look beefy or muscular. Like if you look like John Cena or like Arnold
right.
Schwarzenegger, you're not going to book any jobs because you can't fit the clothing. So that's something I was always kind of struggling with. Like they were like, "Oh, you need to lose muscle," and I was like, "Lose muscle? What? I've worked so hard to gain muscle, you
Right.
know." So that was a bit of a yeah, but it's definitely more healthy because as a male model, you still can look somewhat masculine, whereas as a woman, you just like have to just be super skinny. It's kind of
You have to be a
Um,
hanger, right?
and it's more unhealthy. Yeah, exactly. Clothes hanger. Exactly.
Do
Yeah.
do you ever would you model and you're wearing like a open shirt or you're wearing literally just shorts? And do you ever think this is fucking ridiculous? First of all, you don't look like me, so who gives a fuck what I'm wearing, what I'm walking,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, for sure. I had some moments like when I started modeling, actually, my ex-girlfriend, she's from Germany, and I had some moments where I was really questioning what I was doing with my life because I did a presentation in New York, and a presentation basically means it's not a runway show. It's a runway show besides there's no walking. So basically, there's people, all these press people and fashion people and bloggers and whatnot, and they all go into this place in like Soho, and then you're just standing on a platform and they gave us the instruction and you're wearing the most ridiculous outfit. I was wearing like a shark skin like bra more or less. I
Okay.
had like hair extensions, maybe look like Naruto, like the anime, glasses, big white boots, like things nobody would wear, and like a tiny white speedo. And I mean, it's not, there's no utility to the clothing. It's just like
Right.
a statement, you know? So I'm standing on this platform and they were like, "Oh, what's the instruction?" Because you have to they have a vibe. And they were like, "Oh no, you just gotta like look pissed." And I'm on this platform for 2 hours. Literally, people take photos and I just look pissed. And I'm like, what am I contributing to society? Because my girlfriend at the time, she worked for Amnesty International. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Right.
She's like, and it just like hit me so hard that moment. I was like, well, she's working for Amnesty International, fighting injustices in the world where I'm looking pissed at strangers on a platform. And it just sometimes you really question what you're doing. But it's fun. It's kind of silly. I just made fun of it. Yeah.
She met you as a model though, right?
No, she met me when I was back in my hometown, back in Alpisbach im Hochschwarzwald. We went to college
These are
together.
places. These are really places,
This is
right?
a real place.
Okay.
Alpisbach im Hochschwarzwald is my hometown.
Okay.
It's a you should we should check it out one day.
I choose to
Um,
believe you.
yeah.
You know, like I've seen, yeah, I've seen female models. They're wearing like the front of a motorcycle on their chest, and I'm like, is that for
Yeah.
casual Fridays? So
Yeah.
what do these catwalks get out of it? The fashion designer starts I don't know, getting money from donors. Like what's the end game? What
I
did
think that
they
is
get?
Well, that's a good question. I thought about this a lot because they don't really sell. Who buys that? You know,
Right,
nobody usually buys the pieces you see on the runway.
right,
So I think what they get out of it, they get press out of it because you get featured in like Vogue magazine and all these. It's all this like it's an exposure game. You know, much like things on social media now. So
right.
you have these crazy. I mean, every designer like Armani or Hugo Boss, they all have like these more extravagant collections for the runway to get press, but then the things they're selling are just basic suits for people like,
Right.
you and I, for regular people. So that's I think what they're getting out of it. Yeah.
Did you get yelled at for being gay in America? Because you point out everything's gay in America. I use sunscreen, I'm
Yeah.
gay.
Sure, sure,
You
sure.
you said I got a blowjob once from a guy in a steam room who offered you to $750 while you're in a vulnerable place. All of a sudden, I'm gay.
Exactly.
Was that a true story, by the way?
Kind of. I mean, it's kind of inspired by true events, everything I
Right.
talk about on stage. Yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Kind of.
It was actually $400, but you know,
Okay.
I didn't want to
Right.
look like such a cheap person, you know. So I have no, but that's something I realized. It's true in America. It's in Europe. Sexuality is a thing that's not as. I think we just don't talk about it as much. Also, you know what I mean? That's one thing.
Mhm.
It's just there's not as much talk about it. Like I remember when I was in Berlin, there was a dude. He was like, you know, kissed his friend, and they were just like buddies. And it was like we're not like, oh, is he gay? Is he not? It's just like, no, he's just a dude. I don't know. It's just there's less talk about the actual labels. We just don't care less about labels.
Right.
I mean, I have this joke where I'm like, if you go to a techno club in Berlin, you can see two dudes making out in the corner. And every German's gonna be like, oh look, they're such good friends. You
Right.
know? It's
You-
just like,
Germany
yeah.
sounds very liberal of all places, right?
In some ways, it's weird because there's some things that are very you'd think so, but actually the I think so at a large scale in terms of what's accepted in society it is when it comes to nudity. You know, in a sauna in Europe, everybody's naked. There's not as much judgment. But when you look at the actual policies, Germany legalized gay marriage way later than the U.S. Gay
Mhm.
marriage is fully legalized only a few years ago in Germany. In the U.S., it's been like almost 10 years now, which that's kind of in all 50 states, by the way. So that's kind of counterintuitive. So yeah, but generally, I would say so. Definitely leans more that way. But we're not a communist country. That's what a lot of Americans believe. Just because we
Mhm.
have free healthcare, people are like, oh, they're social, the communists. No, we're as much of a capitalistic place as America is. And it's far from the utopia a lot of Americans that like to shit in America. It's not all that, it is set to a lot of people assume it is, yeah.
People think if America had free healthcare, it'd just be overrun. But I know nobody likes to go to the hospital. It doesn't matter if you have insurance or not. Uh,
Yeah.
does the system work in Germany, healthcare wise?
Well, well, I think no system is perfect, right? What I can say is there's definitely less people who have to, like in Germany, you never be in a position where you can't get a surgery because it might cause financial ruin for you, you
Right.
know? So there's definitely more of that, or people don't become homeless because they had to get a surgery for something that happened to them. You know what I mean? There's definitely more safety in that. But I will say on the flip side, like my father, for example, in Germany, he had an issue where he had to get an MRI or something like that. In Germany, the wait times, because it's all covered by healthcare, you don't pay for it, but then sometimes the wait times are way longer. Versus in America, where you just like,
Right.
you pay a grand and you got it. You get an appointment the next
Gotcha.
day. So that's definitely I think there's never a perfect system. I do think in general Germany's a bit more balanced overall with the system
And you
because
have private doctors too, right? Obviously.
we do, and you
Yeah.
can choose to not join the public free healthcare. You can
Right.
choose to be privately insured, which creates kind of like this. It creates like it creates like almost this two-class system when it comes to healthcare a little bit in Germany, which is a little bit of a struggle because you do get better service if you're privately insured, which again is part of like kind of like what a free market is, right? If
Right.
you get better service, you pay for it. So I don't think it's perfect. I don't think there's any system that ever can be perfect, but I think it's more balanced in Germany. Even having a kid now, like I'm married now, maybe I'm gonna have kids in a couple of years. Having a kid in Germany is just straight up. You just have a kid. It's basically free. Even with no coverage, you pay like maybe €1,000. Versus in America, it's like very expensive. I looked
Yes.
into it. And it's yeah.
Do your wife being Jewish, do you guys find the sex like extra dirty? Like I'm German, she's Jewish. Is that a kink she has?
Yeah, we play hide and seek a lot. You know what I mean? Like, where are you? Come out. uh, no, it's funny, the whole Jewish thing. My wife is Jewish and I joke a lot about it, but she's not really Jewish. Like, she's not, I think her last name is Horowitz or was Horowitz before we got married. So
Okay.
it's a very Jewish last name, but culturally, she's a white girl. You know what I'm saying? She's not
Right.
right. So it doesn't really come up as much as is like if I was really dating a practicing Jew in like
Right.
in like Williamsburg where I used to live, it'd be different. But yeah, we joke about it a lot, and sometimes she has some jokes where like if I'm like we're moving and I'm carrying everything. I'm like, hey baby, this is really hard to carry this, and she goes like, oh, you know what else is hard? Auschwitz. She makes
Right.
those jokes sometimes where I'm like, so we joke about it, but yeah. Again, everything I talk about on stage is based in truth, but like obviously exaggerate a little bit.
Sure.
Um, but yeah.
You mentioned you bring up you're from Germany and some people in America are like, oh yeah, my friend went to Oktoberfest. So,
Yeah.
I kind of get it. And then you go, it'd be like somebody saying they're American. You going, oh yeah, I had a friend that was a school shooter. Again, how fucking crazy is America right now? Somebody on social media, official Lady Bunny wrote, with everything going on, you'd think America is cursed or something. Like it was built on an ancient Indian burial ground. Oh, wait. Yeah, I enjoyed that. It is, yeah,
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
the Trump assassination attempt, Biden stroking out live on stage,
Yeah.
just the hotel that Netanyahu was staying in here in America was just protested with maggots in his room and all this shit. Yeah, that's
Crazy.
what do you could you vote with your green card?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I think I can vote for local. I cannot vote for the general election. I can vote for like local LA things because I'm a resident. What a green
Okay.
card is, I'm a permanent resident. I'm not a citizen, so I cannot vote for. I can't vote in Germany either. I'm basically not part of democracy right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
You brought up the point. Like, it is weird that Trump was shot at, and then he starts yelling USA, USA. That wouldn't happen in Germany. If your president was shot at, people would just start yelling Deutschland, Deutschland. It is an odd thing. It
It
is
is
an
an odd
odd
thing.
thing.
No, the whole thing with American Pride, I talk a lot about it. Like it's so eye-opening to me to see the amount of American pride publicly displayed. You would never see that in Germany. Never.
Right.
Like I went to Target and I saw like salute to the like there was a 4th of July themed ice cream and it's all like salute to the service. The whole veteran pride is very foreign to us
Hmm.
because our veterans, like if you're a veteran in Germany, people look at you weird. Like
Yeah, sure.
if you're on the train, not even veteran, like from World War, even if you're
Right,
like,
right.
young, if you're like my age and you're like,
Yes.
or you're in the military, like some people like they're on the train, and they wearing the German Bundeswehr, like the military outfit, the camouflage, whatever it's called.
Right.
Like we don't look at them. They don't bird first. They don't board
Bored.
first.
Right.
Yeah, bird. I'm sorry.
Sure.
That's when the
I
German
get it.
accent comes out. In the beginning, you were like, you have a bit of accent. I was like, no, I don't. No, it's just you
As
bird
soon as
first. Yeah.
Well, as soon as you start talking about trains, you can't help it.
Yeah, I get a little nervous when I talk about trains, in America. But no, we don't look at them the same way. We just introduced the Veterans Day in Germany
Oh,
um
really?
a few months ago. Yeah, just like
Huh.
the news just broke a few months ago because there is something that is there are people who went to Afghanistan, and like Kosovo and all these places where Germany had a military presence, and they are, they come back traumatized. And they really sacrifice their lives and their well-being too. So I understand why they're. I think it makes sense to have a certain amount of respect for people who go to war now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that's just something because when you hear these stories about people who really they they went through this hell and they come back and in Germany they face almost shame
Hmm.
and it's kind of tough and I can having a little empathy with those people too because I watched this documentary. I always thought, well, I'm veterans, whatever, but then I heard some of these stories and my friend actually he's in the German military and he went to Afghanistan and he went to Kosovo and I mean it's I cannot imagine what he must have gone through, so
Yeah.
then facing public shame. I don't think we have to get the same level of like veteran pride as America because you guys are like back to back World War champs, so that's a little
Right. Sure.
different. But I mean, it makes sense, right? But I think in present day, I think there's I think it makes sense to have a veteran day. But this any sort of military pride in Germany is always, there's strong associations to the 30s.
Sure.
Yeah,
Our veterans, they don't get shamed. They just don't get help.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we'll throw a
They just don't
parade.
get
We'll throw a parade. Here's some candy.
exactly.
Here's some Werthers. But come on, easy, easy.
Yeah,
Buck
yeah,
up.
yeah.
It's crazy to me that America has the Nazis now. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I'm talking not the swastika on flags, people in court. My friend I was just talking to, Brother Love in Nashville. I'm seeing video in New York City. I see not literal,
Mhm.
not people are like, oh, literal Nazis. I'm seeing the fucking swastika. I'm seeing the white power. I'm seeing the KKK hood. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Do we need laws like in Germany where how true is it that you can't talk about Nazis in public, this kind of thing? How true is that?
Pretty true. I mean, I don't know the exact legislation, but I just know that in Germany, never like I have this joke where I'm like, I cannot lift up my right arm. Like I'm physically
Hmm.
unable as a German to lift up my right arm. It's so like hit. I've seen people even in London, even in other European countries, and especially in America, people like they do the Hitler salute as a
Right.
joke to me. Oh, you're German, and they do it, and I'm like, I
Like
think
two
that in
fingers
public.
for the mustache and the hand up.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. And in Germany, that is truly, I'm pretty sure it's illegal to even do that salute. I wouldn't even do it jokingly. And I think we should,
Right.
I mean, I'm definitely joking a lot about Hitler and I have a lot of jokes about that because it's a very true part of living here as a German is our guilt. And I think comedy we should be able to joke about everything, right? So I think making fun of it now it's getting a little bit more mainstream. But in America, I saw even when Trump first was elected, there was I think Sarah Silverman had a bit on, I think it was Conan or something, where she was fully dressed as Hitler with a swastika and like she was dressed like the Führer.
Right.
Like jokes like that are not as there's always a bit of a we have too much guilt in Germany to do that
Sure.
yet. Whereas Americans, of course, you want to joke about what really impacted people at large.
Sure,
So
but these
yeah.
Nazis I'm talking about aren't making a joke. It's fucking crazy.
No, that's true. And that's something I did notice in America. There's just not the same level of awareness. And I think that's something in Germany, we are
Yeah, we didn't get the
from
movies. You don't think we're aware? I mean, what the fuck? They know what they're doing.
no, of course they were, but like in Germany, we got like to give you an idea, from seventh grade history class, like so fifth grade history class started in Germany. Fifth grade was all about like ancient Egypt, the first
Right.
democracies, maybe French Revolution, all this stuff. Then seventh grade, it's all about the Holocaust. It's all about the Second World War, primarily, first, Second World War, then the Holocaust. And so we have so much awareness around that. And we learn every step about discrimination against Jewish people in the 30s. So that's really what we learn about until the end of high school. So we have so much knowledge and we learn so much. So there's so much awareness around it. So anytime any right-wing rhetoric comes up, we're super like aware of it. Whereas in America, maybe the education is not on that level there where people
Right.
are so aware, and also we're obviously very guilty because we actually are Germans. So I think that's why it doesn't come up as easily in Germany. Whereas in America, I mean, quick story, I was in Austin, Texas, and there was a dude
Mm,
on stage. He was shirtless. And Austin is known in the comedy world to be very edgy because of Kill Tony and Joe
right.
Rogan. Like, you know, you can say a lot more than you can say in LA or other places. But this guy went on stage shirtless, and he had a swastika, a fake swastika, tattooed on his chest.
Right.
And his bit was he was saying, "Oh no, I'm Buddhist. So
Okay.
in my culture, the swastika is a symbol of peace."
Hmm.
And I was like, I hate to break it to you, brother, but the swastika belongs to the Germans now. You know,
Right.
it's like there's
They
no
owned it.
nobody looks at the swastika and it's like, oh, Buddhism. You know, no, we our branding was superior. You know, it was
That's
far
right.
superior.
That's right.
So that's just something that would never happen. I mean, there's even the balls to do something like that. There's no way in
Yeah.
Germany. I'm pretty sure they would arrest you.
Right. And here
No.
in America, I remember being at a water park and I'm standing in line and people have their shirts off, of course. And the guy has a big swastika on his back. And I'm like, should I do something? Like, kids, a
Yeah.
water park, all this
Yeah.
guy
Yeah.
has his KKK shit loud and proud. It's like, what the fuck,
It's
guys?
wild. I also
It's
went to San
insane.
Diego and I went to a flea market and I saw a state. They had like all types of stuff, comics, and there was one dude who had a full stand selling Nazi memorabilia.
Yeah,
And it was not in like I think people should be able to read Mein Kampf for
sure.
historians and all this stuff, but this was definitely not like his. This was glorifying. You know,
Yes.
he made a profit, and that's something I'm like, whoa, that's. I mean, again, this is illegal in Germany. He was literally selling artifacts like trinkets and stuff like that that had like the SS symbol on it and stuff like that. Where it's like, I understand that in a museum you should be able to have those things and whatnot, but like selling it for profit, glorifying it, it's just so crazy to me. And I went there with my Jewish wife. You know, we both were like, "What the? That's I mean, never.
Everybody
That
acts
would
like
never
people,
happen in Germany."
yeah,
Yeah,
everybody acts like people aren't so fucking nuts where it's like, well, I mean, we could just talk about it or or sell it or what's the big fucking deal? Well, now we see what the big fucking deal is, and people are insane and they're gonna do this shit. Is it true that in Germany, everyone passes art class? Is that true? No, okay, this is something I
it's a
heard. All right, they don't fail anybody over there in art.
no. By the way, he was failed just for historical accuracy because I made a very viral reel. I made is about this joke basically about Hitler getting rejected from art class, where I was like, you know, an American gets rejected from art class, they're like, "Fuck, motherfucker, fuck."
Right.
Spanish guy is like, "Ay, Dios mío, qué barbaridad," and then the German is like, "We invade Poland," you know. So that was like went very viral. But the historical accuracy is that he was rejected in Austria from art
Okay.
class technically. So all the comments were like, you know, Germans are so accurate with their facts. So I made this joke generalizing Hitler as a German who's technically Austrian, and then all the comments were like, "I'm a history teacher from Germany. I will let you know that this video is not correct and it's a bad
Hmm.
example for because it shares fake information." You know. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's real important. You're
just for any Germans watching, you know.
right. You do great on social media. Yeah, a lot of viral stuff. Congrats. And then you bring up the point like, oh, I did one of my videos. It got 25 million views. I got paid $49.
Yeah.
He goes to pay rent.
Yeah.
My next view has to have 2.5 billion views
Yeah,
per
a
month.
month. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
please come see me do stand up live. I need the money. Was it a true video I saw that you got your bike stolen recently?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What was this?
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing. Also, another thing I had to get used to is the crime here because
Ironically,
that's
the
one
crime
thing.
here is worse, right?
The crime here is a little worse than in Germany because we got it out of our system. You know, that's like the
Right.
joke I made. So, yeah, we have it now. We're super no crime because
Mhm.
no, I grew up in a small town in Germany also, so you can leave your bike unlocked. Nobody's gonna steal it. I mean, the likelihood is so because everybody knows each other, and it's. I just grew up in this kind of utopia little German town, so then coming to LA is a little different. I lock my bike and I actually ride a bike here because I hate LA traffic. I mean, LA is like you're in New York, right?
Yep.
Oh my God, I love New York so much more. I'd look if it wasn't for my wife, I'd live in New York right now. I think it's so much more efficient. I love walking. LA is just so inefficient, and so I'm riding my bike, and I locked it to one of the like I actually locked it to one of the like
Yes.
the one of the bike racks or whatever it's called.
Hmm.
The guy did not, whoever stole it. I don't want to be sexist. Like whoever the person who
Sure.
stole it, you know, because it might be non-binary. Who knows?
Right.
In LA, so the person who stole it, they didn't only break my lock, they detached the actual bike rack from the ground.
Wow.
Do you know what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
they had like a tool to remove the, I don't know what's called, the screw, for lack of a better
And just
word,
slid your
from the
bike out.
ground,
Yeah.
and just to remove I was like, wow, that is, I mean, honestly, respect. If you like, I almost have to respect the hustle on that
Yeah.
end. But yeah, this is my third bike that was stolen in Los Angeles. I go through bikes very quickly. It's yeah. Because
Bikes.
things are like, yeah, bikes, yeah, bicycles. They
Yeah.
steal them all the time, and even in one got stolen in Beverly Hills, supposedly nice area.
Yeah.
In Germany, I can leave my phone out, nobody steals it. In LA, if you drop your phone, it's gone before it hits the ground. I feel like
Right.
it's just something I had to get used to here. Yeah.
I like the video where you were at a Waffle House for the first time. And
Oh
you're
hell yeah.
looking at the breakfast menu, and like, what is this? Bacon
Hell
Angus
yeah,
cheeseburger
brother.
deluxe breakfast. It's a it's a
Yeah.
wild country, right? And then you ask the waitress, do you have any salads? And she's like, no, we got rid of the salads because of COVID.
Because of
What?
COVID. I love that. I love that causal, like that connection of like just a linear connection
Right.
between, yeah, when, yeah.
More news came out about the shooter. Speaking of Donald Trump, the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, he did indeed fly a drone around the area like 2 hours before the shooting. The drone was in the air for approximately 11 minutes. He watched the live feed. Investigators believe Crooks watched the live feed from the drone on his phone. The drone was found in his car following the shooting. He also had two explosives in his car at the time of the shooting and one in his home, but they say, quote, it looks like because of the on-off position on the receivers that if he had tried to detonate those devices from the roof, it would not have worked. So it could have been worse. Investigators
Mm.
say that Crooks fired approximately 8 times from an AR style rifle. What are gun laws in Germany? You don't?
No, no, because the last time we had guns, it didn't go
It
so
didn't
well.
go
So we
good.
have like, no, I mean, we have guns. My uncle's a hunter, for example. So he has a
Okay.
gun, but it's very like everything in Germany is pretty regulated, right? I mean, that's what,
Right.
Americans make fun of, right? We're very, but America, like, I'm not gonna say America also has a lot of bureaucracy, back to my visa situation. But no, in
Hmm.
Germany, you cannot have a gun. You can't just own a gun. There's no way unless
Right.
you're in a, there's, if you're in a shooting club or something, but you have to pass so many things and you have to keep it locked and all that. But there's no open carriage in any state, in any shape or form at all. There's
Right.
nothing like that.
I
Um,
so I live in New York City, where it'd be insane if guns were legal.
yeah,
And I seeing somebody in Charlotte, and and I don't even think about it, but you're going into a regular restaurant and it says, no firearms in this place. And I'm like, yeah, no shit,
yeah,
right? And I'm like,
yeah, yeah,
oh, Charlotte.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All
No,
right.
literally. That when I first saw these signs, I had to laugh so hard because I was like, that's so. You don't have to classify that in Germany. Even like when
Right.
you go to the airport, they always say like, "Oh no, don't bring your firearms in here." There was a, when I was in Texas, there was a air like when they have these instruction videos on at the airport when they're
Hmm.
like, there was this little kid who was like, had like a big gun, and they made a joke of him, and he brought they played that he was like a mafioso guy or something, and he had his gun in his like hand luggage, and they were like, no, 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 this is how you put the gun away. You put it in the actual like checked luggage
Hmm.
with this kind of box and stuff like that. So
I
I was
see.
blown away. This was a real video because it must be pretty common
A
that
problem.
people have
Yeah.
to learn. But so yeah, this is how you properly pack your guns. This is so hilarious, man.
I went from I think I was going from Charlotte to back to New York City, and the person was like, "Yeah, this is stupid to say, but you don't have a gun, right?" Like I guess it happens a lot. Like
Yeah,
you seem to be from New York, so not
yeah,
that,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
They believe the shooter used a rifle purchased legally by his father. There's no evidence of co-conspirators. They found out that the shooter Googled how far away was Oswald from Kennedy, the JFK assassination, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Oswald was 265 feet away. This guy was 400 feet away. But again, with the scope,
Mm.
it should have been an easy shot. And I
I
was
mean,
saying,
technology has evolved a lot in like like
right,
60 years. So
right,
yeah, yeah,
right. It is funny. I don't know. Let's check his Google. It's like how that
yeah,
same day, by the way, or the same day that he looked up the Oswald distance, he got a ticket or whatever for the rally in the first place.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so there's no oh my god. I just heard this. If on Facebook in the search bar, If you type in chicken soup, you get a warning that child sexual abuse is illegal. Apparently, chicken soup is code that Facebook perverts use to share
No
child
way.
pornography and whatnot. And I'm like,
That
oh no,
is,
because so I'm Googling Oswald and all this shit
yeah,
to
yeah,
get
yeah.
the news. And I'm like, I don't even know if I want that in my stuff. Now I got chicken soup. I tried to look at the facts and oh boy,
No way. Are
my
you
Google must be
serious?
insane. Yeah. If you go to
Dude, let me try that
Facebook,
right now. I'm
all
gonna go to
right,
Facebook
yeah.
right now.
Join me. We'll go
Chicken
to
soup.
prison together.
Dude, there yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Come on, come on, Keith and the girl. Okay, let me see. Chicken soup. Child sexual abuse is illegal. Oh my God, this is crazy.
You can't even talk about chicken soup anymore. I just started a Facebook chicken soup group and
That is
we're losing money
crazy.
left and right.
So the pedophiles just took chicken soup. They just took it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
belongs to them now. We have
Yep.
that's like that's like Germany with the number 18, by the way. Do you notice that? Do you know
Because
that?
it's Hitler's what?
Initials.
Birthday?
So 18, you
Oh,
know,
okay.
one is the first number of the alphabet, like A is the first letter of the alphabet, right? So 1 8 18 is the initials of Adolf Hitler in code. So a lot of
Okay.
soccer players or even some books don't have the number 18 written out because it's associated with Nazi. It's a Nazi symbol. It's a Nazi number. Same with 88 because it stands for High Heil Hitler.
Right.
So and it's just crazy. We Germans were like, oh yeah, just take the number. It belongs to you now. You know, it belongs to the Nazis now. Yeah, we just gave up a number and we
Right.
gave up chicken soup. That's crazy. We can't.
Right.
That's insane. Oh
This
my
is
God.
this is not for the soul. Oh,
Imagine you're
shit.
like imagine you're like a chicken soup owner, a shop
Yeah.
owner somewhere. That's
You
crazy.
can't make money on Facebook.
There's a big podcast called Chicken Soup Dates. Do you know about that
Okay.
one?
No, I don't.
Massive. One of the top podcasts is this girl, Emilia de Moldenberg. She blew up. It's a very interesting format. She just interviewed Billie Eilish and like
Okay.
top a lot of musicians. And she's at a chicken soup shop and she goes on a date with them. And
Okay.
I wonder if I Google like, maybe if I go chicken soup
Date kids.
podcast or
I mean, I
something.
don't that seems
Yeah.
like a worse word to add to
Yeah,
chicken soup.
chicken soup date. Oh my God. That is crazy. Yo, talking about is this weird, but talking about CP, I just had a friend who was it's so surreal actually, this whole thing, because not a friend would be too much to say, but a guy. I went to the Avians to the porn awards in Vegas and I
Okay.
do these street interviews. So I was interviewing porn stars. And one guy I interviewed and had a long conversation with him. I was supposed to have him on the podcast. His name is Austin Wolf. And he's very prominent in the gay world. He's like this 6'7", like elf, like, and he just went. I just talked to him last week, and the FBI just arrested him for child
Oh no.
porn or something. Insane. It's just like what's on my mind. But it's so crazy in LA that you like, I grew up in Germany, just like the worst somebody did was get a speeding ticket because they had a couple too many beers. And now I'm
Right.
here in LA with like actual child abusers. I meet people all the time. It's crazy. It's so insane, man.
Well, anyway, congrats on your green card. Welcome.
Thank you. Hell yeah. Good timing on that. Yeah.
What's the best place for people to see what you're up to? Just look up your name, right, on Instagram, this kind of thing.
Instagram is the best place. Mario Adrion, Adrion, and that's all my tour dates are my bio. Yeah, it's the best place.
Excellent. All right. And you and the wife, it's fairly new marriage wise. Everything's going good.
Yeah. No, everything's great. I love
Okay.
it. It's very weird for me because I was modeling and I had no relationships. I was single for so long because I was traveling every 2 months. I was going to a different place. So I didn't want to get my heart broken. And, so I was very like, no relationships, nothing. So now the pandemic made me go from fully, I didn't even have a home. I was just living in hotels for 7 years as a model
Okay.
to now getting an apartment, having a dog, having a cat, having a plant, and being married. I fully turn my life around, and I'm a simp. I'm a beta now, but I like it.
You say turn your life around. Was it crazy? Was it sex you shouldn't have? Was it drugs? Was it that much?
You know what's funny? That's the big misconception. I personally, and we can get into this a whole nother topic, but I was never like a sexual person. People always assume that because I'm like modeling and I'm around all these beautiful female models,
Right.
But I never I also had some issues with like sexual assaults. So I kind of have a weird association with sex because I'm modeling. So there's a lot of like this is a dark
You
side
were
to the modeling
assaulted, you mean?
industry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Many times
Okay.
in like smaller ways and then also major ways. Also in New York, I mean, it's like fashion, there's such a power dynamic at play, much like in like acting. And whenever there's it seems like humans, whenever there's power, they tend to abuse it, you know?
Sure.
So that's what happened a lot. And then,
And is it
yeah, my
also
life
hard
was,
to, is it hard to like, at first you're probably telling yourself, this isn't so weird. Of course you have to put a bulge into my shorts and you have to do it instead of me do it to myself. I'm
exactly,
not a
yeah.
square, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, at first you come from a small town and then you're like, I mean, I don't know. I thought maybe this is an American thing, that
Right.
people, just like touch my, balls while I'm at a photo
Mhm.
shoot. But then you realize, okay, no, this is they just feel like they can because you're a man, so you won't talk about it, and also
Right.
you're a young, desperate model who needs jobs from these powerful photographers, so they feel untouchable, and that's what
How,
happens a lot. So yeah.
how young?
I was like 20 when I started, so that's when it first started happening.
Okay.
Like from the minute I started going to New York, and even before, even in Germany before, I started when I was like 19, 20 when I started. So from the get go, it started, and
How old are you
yeah,
now? Can I ask?
I just turned 30.
Okay.
Yeah, so it
Did
was 10 years ago. Yeah,
was there a certain point where you went, no, I can tell the way you're looking at me right now, and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not doing this.
Well, there's a certain amount of like you just have to be okay with a little bit of flirting because it's
Hmm.
part of the you can't be too offended because at the end of the day, modeling is a little bit of a play between you're exhibitionist and the photographer's a voyeurist. So there's a little bit of flirtatious energy, and that's normal. I think it's just part of the job, and it's totally fine. But there's boundaries you just have to set for yourself beforehand. For me, it was always tough because I'm a very non-confrontational person. I'm not angry. I'm always like I want everybody to like me. So it's
Hmm.
been hard for me to say no. What happened to me is I started making YouTube videos and to offset the power dynamic because then I was like, yo, I make my own content. I make money not with modeling but with YouTube. So if somebody doesn't want to give me a job, I'm fine with it. So I can set my boundaries more. But if you're modeling, that's all you have. I mean, for female models again, it's also tough. Like I was modeling with some girls from the Ukraine and they were like 16, 17 when they started modeling and they're from the Ukraine and their whole family, they're providing for their whole family in their poor town in the Ukraine by going to Japan and doing these big modeling campaigns. It's hard for them to say no because that's all they have. They didn't go to college, they don't have a YouTube channel. They just modeling is all they have. And that's how they provide for themselves and their families. So that's another level of like that power dynamic that just gets abused. So for me, making YouTube videos is great because then I felt more in control of my career
Okay.
and was not a subject to those people in power. Yeah.
Well, good for you. Did you seek therapy to deal with sexual abuse, or you think you're all right without it?
Therapy? What are you talking about? This is America. I got that. No, actually, America is big on therapy. Actually, if I think about it, no, I definitely did. I definitely did. I acknowledged it like 5 years ago, the actual sexual assault.
Okay.
Made a YouTube video about it too. It was hard to acknowledge it because I just had pushed it away for like
Sure.
4 or 5 years. Because I was still in the industry, so you can't really process things when you're still actively being in the middle of it.
Right.
So you didn't want to be triggered every time. So but no, I definitely did acknowledge it. Also, my wife helped me a lot with that, and yeah, did a lot of like with the help of psychedelics and therapy. It definitely helped, and
Did
that's a
you
big part of my message. Yeah, yeah.
did you out anybody? Did you email anybody? Like, just so you know, motherfucker, I know what happened
You know,
exactly.
the sad reality is that there are so many people. It's like if I had to start with where do I start? If I start with
Right.
just like a little bit of harassment, the bar is also so like the bar is so high. What I consider to be assault is like you're so jaded as a model. Like some of the stuff I heard even about Harvey Weinstein, when I
Hmm.
saw like, okay, this is what he did, he made me feel so uncomfortable. I was like, this was Tuesday for me in New York. Like this
Right.
is every day for me. So I did never actively say names. I did imply a little bit, but also the main person is a business owner in China whose actual name I don't even know. You know, it
Hmm.
was for a modeling job in China. China is a country also where there's no. I mean, we talk about a lot of people shit on America, but like once you go to China, you realize what complete control feels like and complete you feel so powerless in China.
Right.
Like I didn't have internet. I didn't know the people. I didn't know the language. They could have kicked me out. When I got in to China, they had I had some issues with my visa. This guy, this powerful man in China, who's part of the, like it's a lot of nepotism and like a lot of yeah, if you know the right people, it's crazy. China's insane. So he basically talked to like he had people in the government who helped me just get my visa real quick. I was like, yo, what can they do if I speak. Like, what else could
Right.
they do to harm me? You know what I mean? While I was in China, and I genuinely don't know his name. Looked up the communication we had on Facebook. His account is gone. I have no idea how to even like start. You know, so
Sure.
I thought about it for sure. If it happened in America, I would have for sure with this person. I would have for sure said something and done something, maybe even legal action or something. Even that is tough because you just want to move on, you know. But I would have
Sure.
done it for other people. I would have done it because I don't want other people to experience what I've experienced. It would have
That
been
would
that
be and
responsibility. Yeah.
yeah, another country would be crazy. Never mind China. Axl Rose, the new Guns N' Roses at the time, had an album called Chinese Democracy. He just thought it was a funny title because, of course, there's
Yeah.
no democracy.
There's not. It's insane. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anyway, now everybody knows this is why I don't model.
Yeah, part of it. Part of it.
That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah. Also, I
That's right.
was never, I don't want to overplay it. I was never that successful. You know, I did jobs, but I was never like at the level. If you want to make money as a model, as a man, you have to be on the top level, you know? And even then, men are underpaid in modeling. There's a pay gap in America. I want to talk about it. Women get paid way more than men in the modeling industry. And for men, it can't really be a
Right.
sustainable career anyway. So
That's
that's also
again,
why I quit.
that's why I'm
Yeah.
not part of it. That's why I quit. I want to have my Angus burgers for breakfast. It's all too much. It's all too much. I'll just stick with
I can't
comedy.
blame you. I feel you.
Thank you.
I feel you.
This person, Andrew, wrote, "Hey Keith, I just finished the Dad Emails book. If you're new to Keith and the Girl, check this out: keithandthegirl.com/dad. My dad hit on my ex-wife, then I catfished my dad as my ex-wife, and that's a year-long saga. That's pretty exciting. keithandthegirl.com/dad. I just finished the Dad Emails book, and wow, lots of stuff that I missed while just listening to the show. But you did a really great job keeping everything together. Kemda can never be replaced, in my opinion, but you're doing a great job on your own. Yes." Thanks for all the
Hell
effort.
yeah.
You guys really helped me out in the past, and I'm glad that you're keeping the show going. It's a lot of fun. Be subscribed, and of course, keithandthegirl.com/VIP. Here every show we've ever done in about over 2 decades, including spin-off shows, et cetera, et cetera.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mario, very nice meeting you. Thanks so much for your time. Thanks for your
Appreciate you.
candidness, and
Yeah.
this was great. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah. Thanks so much for having me.
So that's it. Give me 1 second. You were
Yep.
great.